Hey everybody, me again. Sorry for not posting the last couple of days. I was pretty sick, but I'm back to at least 90% better today. So I was able to go to group and get my bullet points done. So it's September the 19th today, Wednesday, and we'll just dive right in. First one was about the power of forgiveness, letting go of resentment, hate not leading to salvation, and grudges affecting all our relationships. Well, this one is pretty powerful to me because the power of forgiveness is absolutely insane. Especially if you harbor resentments to people, which is very unhealthy, because it ensures that you're focused not only on something that happened in the past, but on something negative. And that's something, if you find yourself doing that and waking up angry and, generally in a bad mood and all day and that kind of thing, you may want to look at trying to forgive somebody. And it may not come immediately, and that's fine. Forgiveness can take time. And forgiveness also does not mean that you have to be buddy-buddy with, whoever did you wrong. It's a very, very important way of being able to let go of, anger and pain in your life, and it helps out tremendously. And that's why I try and practice it. And for me, there's been a couple of instances recently in the last couple of years where I've had to forgive people, and it was very difficult. One person in particular, I had to forgive because they had done some pretty reprehensible shit to me. So, but after some time, I was able to think, I want to forgive this person in my heart, but that doesn't mean I have to be close to them. So I could let go and move forward, and in doing that, I was able to kind of, step back a little bit and look at how this person was functioning, and it wasn't too good, and I've got a lot of great friends that I've had for a very long time, and this person didn't, to my knowledge, really, except for maybe one, and it's very sad to see that. It's this person was definitely suffering because of that. And, I take pity on them. Let's see. Letting go of resentment, that's definitely a big thing. You got to let go to be able to move forward. Otherwise, it's going to keep you chained down in negativity. Hate not leading to salvation and peace. Well, it can't. It's hate. And, it's always been my opinion that hate breeds hate. If you want to get rid of hate, you can't meet it with more hate. If somebody's got a detestable viewpoint, or if they're saying bad things, then, they can't be met with, insults and violence and yelling at them and, wishing death and injury upon them. It's not gonna help them stop hating. It's gonna keep them in that little kind of ball of hate that they've made for themselves, and it's gonna reaffirm kind of their feelings toward the situation, and they're not going to want to get out of there because you're yelling at them. Why would they? That's not how you stop hate. Love is the only way to stop hate. It's got to be met with love, kindness, and compassion for people to be able to get together. And that's really how peace is going to happen. Is not meeting hate with hate, because it doesn't solve anything. And grudges affecting our relationships, well, they sure do. If we are holding on to something that is, made us resentful or made us angry or upset, that starts bleeding over into the rest of our lives, into our connections with everybody else. As you're going to be, because you're, angry about this resentment and everything, you might be short-tempered and stuff. You might be like mouthing off to people close to you, or kind of blowing up at little stuff. and it can tremendously affect the relationships that you have with other people. And that's just one more reason why it's a good thing to try and let go of something. Now, I do know that depending on the situation, it can take a lot of time to be able to let go of something. There's got to be, time for it to process, get your emotions sorted out, that kind of thing. By no means am I saying that this is something that's going to come overnight, because I know that it's not. And, but I do hope everybody watching can, practice letting go of certain things if they can. And yeah, that was it for that one. The next one is vulnerability, talking about how we feel about certain things instead of bottling it up. Well, vulnerability is an incredibly important thing. And here at the facility I'm at, I love going to groups in the morning, because it's like all of the guys are just vulnerable with each other. We're sitting there, we're talking about shit that's happened to us, how we've dealt with it, how it's made us feel. It's really a beautiful thing, and I'm glad to be a part of it. And vulnerability is great because, it lets other people know that, where you've been and what you've been through, and, how you've been strong enough to get here now. And, it helps people get to know you better and get to understand where you're coming from. And, there might be some solidarity with some people that you talk to, because they might be going through the same thing or have experienced the same thing that you have. So I definitely encourage vulnerability. You can't really get to know somebody or let somebody get to know you properly without it. And, if you keep your walls up all the time, it's just going to be you in there. It's going to be pretty lonely. Talking about how we feel and not bottling things up, that's very important, because I've come to learn, over the years in rehab, I've heard over and over how much, how important journaling can be and how much it can help, but I've never really practiced it until more recently, and it really does help. When you're feeling, angry or upset about a situation, and you don't really know what to do, and you haven't really disclosed it to anybody, and it's just, it's just all up in here, vocalize it, even if you're not talking to anybody. Like, get it out from here and put it into real space, because if you vocalize or if you put it down on a piece of paper, I've found that it helps out a lot, because that's you acknowledging that you're feeling some type of way. And then maybe from there you can sit back and say, okay, why am I feeling like this? What can I do about it? How can I move forward? And that's a monumental thing to be able to do. Let's see. Next we have holding on to the past and focusing too much on the future. Holding on to the past is a terrible thing. That's fucking super toxic. Because it's just going to keep you chained to, certain events and things like that. You're not going to be able to move forward if you're focused on the past too much. And we could, I'm not saying that we can't think about the past, but just don't, live in it, because that's unhealthy. But being able to look back in the past and, try and learn different things about yourself and about certain situations or whatever, that's helpful. But you just can't obsess over it and try to live it, because that's not going to work. The river only flows one way, and, we can't back paddle. At best, you'll be stagnating if you do that. So, being able to move forward from the future is a very good thing. But also, on that note, being too hyperfixated on the future is pretty bad. Like, if you're saying like, oh, I'm going to do this, and this, and down the line, and have plans that are years ahead and stuff, you end up focusing on the end point, too hard, and that's gonna distract you from what's happening today. Our goals take time, and it's better to have smaller goals that we can reach, kind of like stepping stones that pile up eventually, than to hard focus on your end goal, because you might even not know what your end goal is yet. And that's fine but that can be realized through these stepping stones, and yeah, I encourage everybody to kind of just live for today, because that's really all we have. We don't know if tomorrow's coming. Yesterday's already gone, and yeah, so just be happy to live now, and everything's good for today, and you can make it good. Let's see. We've got next acceptance and adaptability and making the most out of what you have. Acceptance is a huge thing because, as an addict, I have to accept that I have a problem and that I cannot do certain things or hang around certain places or people because it's just going to bring me down, and like I can't be around those things anymore because it's going to absolutely ruin everything that I've put hard work in for the last few months. And I can't let that happen. I don't want to waste my time anymore. It's scary, but at this point, I feel like I've got a lot of good forward momentum, and that's it's better to keep it going than to stop and start back up again from scratch, which I've done multiple times. I'm ready for that to be done now. And you got to make the most out of what you have too, because we take anything for granted, especially our relationships with people. Shit's gonna be pretty bad, especially when we lose them, because we're gonna think, oh, I could have said this to this person, or I could have done better here, and then there's a whole cycle of guilt and shame that goes along with that. So I just encourage everybody to be very happy with what they have, with who they have around them, and to enjoy what they've got, and not look at not look too much at what you don't have. Let's see, how to deal with pain properly and how miraculous our life truly is. Well, pain is definitely something that is hard to deal with. I've experienced a lot of it. And, for a very long time, I've let it run me over and just completely dominate my life. And, again, pain's very hard to work through, but you should let yourself feel it and acknowledge that you're feeling it so that you can move through it in a healthy way instead of, kind of Band-Aid solutioning it with chemicals or with alcohol, running away from it, because I kind of like to visualize it like there's a monster outside your window, right? And when you use or drink, you shut the window on it for a second. But that window's glass. You can still look through there, and the monster's still there outside. He hasn't gone anywhere. You just put a thin barrier between you and it, and it doesn't do anything for you that way because the problem's still there. You just haven't confronted it yet, and if you want to keep it there forever, then that's what's going to happen if you keep using and drinking. That's something that you got to confront. You got to work through it, and pain can absolutely dominate our lives if we let it. And dealing with pain properly it's going to be different for everybody, and it's all about how we meet it, and basically how we take care of pain is kind of our choice. We can let it totally wreck us, or we can feel it and try to heal from it and not run away from it. And in regards to how miraculous our life truly is, it really is. It's a miracle that you're here, because do you know what the odds are of you being, the one that came out? It's fucking staggering. And, it's nuts. But you're here. You're here. You get to experience life. You get to see things. You get to hear things. You get to feel things. Even if they, maybe pain sometimes, maybe, sadness or grief, we still are here. We get to feel all of these things. And, it's miraculous. We get to be here. Every day there's something great about it. It's sunny out. It's partly cloudy, it's warm. It's not, freezing cold. Everything's green. It's beautiful. And we get to be part of this. We get to experience it. And it's just absolutely amazing. And last thing is gratitude. And gratitude is very important to practice because, you know, it ties into a couple of the other things I was saying. You know, being thankful that you're here, being thankful that you're alive. You know, and if you don't practice it and acknowledge, you know, what you're grateful for, then, you know, it can make things a little difficult. Now, for me today, I'm grateful for a lot of stuff. I'm grateful for a fifth chance here. I'm grateful for patient, supportive, and loving friends and family. They've never, ever not had my back. They've always been in my corner, and I am super, super grateful for them because without them, I couldn't have done this. You know, I wouldn't be here. I'm grateful for the motivation that I've been given to move forward, this is absolutely astounding. Within the last, like, couple of months that I've been in recovery, I've really, really made a lot of progress. I used to be just a straight up pile of misery. It was terrible. But somehow through, you know, treating it very seriously this time and knowing what I have to do, I've been able to, you know, start running in the right direction and start seeing things the way that I should. And it's monumental for me. And I'm grateful for today. You know, again, it's miraculous that I'm here, and I'm glad. For all the lessons I've been taught, you know, from good stuff and bad stuff. You know, I've always had to learn things the hard way. People haven't been able to tell me shit, so, you know, I went and do it. And it's taught me a lot of shit, but it's also very hard to get through. You know, so I'm thankful for the lessons that I've learned there, and that I'm still alive. But, you know, there's a handful of times that I should have died, but, you know, I'm still here. And that's kind of reinforced my belief that I'm here for a purpose, that we're all here for a purpose. You know, it wasn't my time to go yet. And, you know, now I've found that purpose and I have a direction to go in. And, you know, I'm going to live it. I'm going to fulfill it. And let's see. Oh, also, lastly, I'm grateful for my sense of humor because I love making people laugh. That's the most fulfilling thing to me in the world. You know, and it's gotten me through a lot of hard shit. And, you know, a lot of people enjoy it. Some people don't, but that's okay. You know, I don't have to be everybody's cup of tea. And with that being said, this concludes the video. And y'all have a great day. I'll see you next time.